Hello and welcome, I am Raziel. So, FOMO, fear of missing out, is something people suffer from. I guess I don't suffer from it. It's never really been an issue. I'm probably too laid back to really be concerned about missing out on something or that I grew up poor. That could also, missing out through childhood on the nicest new things kind of probably helped me to be this situation where if something's big and hyped or limited edition, I can go, yeah, it looks good and I don't mind missing it. It doesn't concern me, it doesn't bother me. However, it does concern a lot of people. And I can get it. I get it from a consumer point of view or a customer's point of view that when a product is limited edition or in very short supply, that it can be tiresome for it. You can be just boring and tedious that you wish to get this thing, but you don't know if you can get it or not, or it may be snapped up within the first half hour of release. All that. I can understand it. So I thought, do you know what would be nice? That we talk about this and how we can overcome this fear, this, I don't know, phobia, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully get people to not worry so much that they might miss out on the next new thing. And the thing is, this can cover all things from wargaming, video games, DVDs, Blu-rays, consoles, whatever. Now, first things first is the realization that even though the original box is going to be limited edition, this stuff's still going to come out. It's not going to always be put to one side. We do have some very rare examples of when it came out, and you're still probably waiting. Like the Lord of Contagion is still unavailable for the Death Guard. The Lord Possessor for Chaos again is still, locked behind a combat patrol. It's never seen a solo release ever. So I can get there is some examples, but seeing as they're so few and far between, it's not really a big concern to say it's going to happen all the time. So if you miss out on the first box or anything like that, the models are still going to be released and you can just wait. And patience is the big key here. Just waiting for it, and when it finally drops, you can get it. I know they're going to cost more because these boxes tend to be some sort of a bargain. However, it's just the sort of thing I think you should just, like, instead of when you see it and you're going, oh my god, I don't get it, and and you don't get it, instead of pouting or worrying, just going, the models are going to come out soon and I'm just going to wait. The books, on the other hand, are absolutely disgusting. I just got the Echoes of Eternity and the first at the end of death, or whatever it's called, the end of the death, in paperback, so I've had to wait a year for those. But that's the thing, I was just happily sitting there waiting. I've got plenty of other books to read, and so that's it. And that's the other thing. Rather than worrying about missing out, look at what you've got already and see if you can fulfill your time with something else. Like, if you've got a big pile of shame and you got upset because you missed out on a Blood Angel box or a Kill Team box, whatever, look at your shelf and go, well, honestly, I can wait for these models to drop on their own and I'll just finish up doing what I've got. Again, this can work with all sorts of things like video games and DVDs, Blu-rays, etc. You can just go back to what you have while you wait for the normal edition to drop. And that's fine. That's the sort of thing I do, because I'm not going to get all bent out of shape because I missed out on something special where I know the models themselves are just going to be released anyway. It's just not the way to be. You're just upsetting yourself over nothing, really. The other thing is, the limited edition things are kind of a con. Now, or a scam. It's a misnomer, if anything. See, when it comes to limited edition anything, you cannot use it. You cannot open it. You cannot do anything. It has to remain in mint condition in the box, in its cellophane, and stay that way. So when a wargaming company does a limited edition box and you buy it and you open it up, the whole point of it being limited edition doesn't really work because it's destroyed its value completely. The value's gone. Because you've opened it up. And worst case is with wargaming in particular, you've built the models, you've painted the models, it's absolutely ruined. You cannot ever get the value that you would get out of a limited edition book, or if you just kept the box on its own. And wargaming being a very, very immersive and creative hobby, it would be very difficult to buy one of these limited edition boxes and then just destroy the value it would have become. I know a lot of people aren't concerned about this, and you do get the people that collect these things. I don't know why. It's the same with limited edition books. They just buy the book and get the audiobook rather than reading the book. I can't understand that. I just prefer to read the book. So that's why I don't get limited edition. Also, I don't like signed books because it means someone's written in my book. I'm not even joking. Like, it sounds silly, but I do have this issue with signed books. I don't like them because someone's written in my book. And that's the other thing. Signed copies that you get, or in these limited edition books, again, mean very little in the writer's game of a market. Most of these authors, especially science fiction and, niche books, niche genres such as science fiction and fantasy, a lot of their authors don't tend to actually add a lot of value to it. You would need value from the top authors. I'm not saying they're bad authors. I'm not saying Dan Abnett's a bad author. A good suggestion is, if you got a signed book by Dan Abnett and you got a signed comic by Dan Abnett, the signed comic by Dan Abnett would probably end up being worth a lot more because he's a bigger name with DC and Marvel, and he's had a bigger impact in them, such as Groot literally saying, "I am Groot." So the writing in the book doesn't really mean much unless, unfortunately, they pass on. Then it becomes a lot more valuable because it's something that can never be done again. And if there's 1,000 out there, that's quite a large number for a signature book, and I feel sorry for the authors. That means, all in all, you're not really talking a very rare book there, unfortunately, compared to the others. And I've seen cases where there's been more signed copies or more limited edition copies than a regular edition copy. An example of this was Halo 2. The Steelbook edition was far more prolific and made far more of them than the standard edition of Halo 2. So the standard edition of Halo 2 became a lot more valuable. And, well, that's about it. It's just patience and just not letting it get yourself worked up over it. Not getting so stressed because you might miss out. Just see what it is and see if you really need it, and if it's really important to your army to have this limited edition starter box, or just anything like that, then it's not really worth getting worked up about. Patience is the key, and go, right, do you know what? Do I need it? Not really. I'm just going to get what I need, work on what I have, and then I can get it when I'm good and ready for it. Rather than just jumping the gun and going, I need to get this, waiting in the queue for half an hour or an hour on your laptop or on your phone, and getting worked up just to go have that time wasted just to realize that it's sold out. So when it comes to FOMO, as I said, the best thing is to do is not worry about it, don't stress about it. Just wait and see what happens. If you get it, well done. If you don't get it, well, you can get a standard edition anyway, and still have the same fun or even more fun with them, because if they haven't opened a limited edition box, you're having more fun with your standard edition because you're actually getting something out of it. So that's it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely day. I hope you've had a good day. Actually, I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you in the next one. And don't forget, there's a link to Whaling Games down below, and if you wish to save some money on your Warhammer, up to 20% off and free delivery after £20. Plus, they got a point system which kind of works out at an extra 1% off via store credit when you get a certain amount of points. I think it's 100 to make the pound. So there's that. And yes, mostly you're not going to even pay delivery on almost anything in that shop, because most of it's over £20, as in with most models and wargaming. There's the odd exception. There's also a Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, mangas, and all that other cool geeky stuff. And there's my merchandise and my comics. If you want to see Little Red Riding Hood go ham on some Lovecraftian cyborg werewolves. There's also Skyforge as well. Never forget Skyforge. Let's get him up that Google algorithm. And finally, Patreon, because business. Bye-bye.